Wow, that was good.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the developer Q&A. It's the 16th of June. Got loads of questions for you guys today, and to kick it off, we've got an awesome announcement.
Yes.
But I forgot, before we do that, we should do names, really. You should know us by now. I'm Mod James, I'm hosting.
I'm Mod Pi, I do combat stuff.
I'm Mod Balance, I am the head of community.
Mod Kelpie, lead ninja.
Mod Stu, Guardian, developer, released some dragons this week.
RuneScape elitist as well, we found out last week.
Apparently so.
He can go into max skill. We've also got on hand, we've got Mod Krista, Mod Mohawk, and Mod Obeith, who are going to be showing us the beach party, the summer beach party, a teaser of that, and then answering questions halfway through the stream as well. Did I get his name wrong?
Yeah.
What was it?
Obeith.
Mod Obeith. It's Mod Obeith.
Gotta get it right.
Cheers,
I'm sorry,
guys, for the haircut, love.
That wasn't deliberate. Anyway, big announcement to kick it off with this week's stream, and straight over to Mod Balance.
Yeah, I must say I'm here on behalf of Mod Mac, who's currently trapped behind a portable forge. So sorry that he's not here, but yeah, we hot fixed it. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right.
So that has been hot fixed, by the way.
Okay.
If you were ever trapped behind a portable forge.
It's hot fixed. Don't worry. So the big news. What do you want to know, Mod James?
I want to
Tell
know
me what you
about.
wanna
I want to know about RuneFest, of course.
Okay, so I can tell you the location.
Go
I
on.
can tell you the date.
No, tell me the date. RuneFest.
RuneFest 2015 this year is going to be on October the 3rd.
There we go. What about
That's the information.
October the 3rd? Then I guess
There you go.
the next information for the community is where is RuneFest going to be?
Okay, so we looked at loads of places where we wanted to do RuneFest this year, and we decided that London is the place. It's where we know, where we love. We can get there really easily. So going back to Tobacco Dock, we're basically using the same venue, but there's a whole new space that we're going to be using as well.
A different side of the venue, isn't
Absolutely.
it?
So it's almost like,
What
yeah, Mod Kelpie's loving this. He's like, wow, Tobacco Dock.
I'm really excited.
He's really excited. he's excited.
Can't wait to be staff manager of RuneFest again.
Yes. Yeah, so we're basically in a different side of Tobacco Dock. It's essentially the kind of familiarity of the whole venue, but there's a kind of different layout, so it should be really, really good.
And then I guess the big question that I have to ask on behalf of the players is going to be why not the USA? Been calling for it for the USA for a while now.
We have. And look, we do want to do the USA. We just explored the possibility, and it is far too expensive. It's not economical. We'd have to fly 150 JMods out there.
I've got no problem with that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mod Pi, we'll send Mod Pi.
Just give my opinion. Like, I'm fine going to America.
I wouldn't mind either, actually. But ultimately, we want to deliver the best event possible, and I think if we did that, if we did RuneFest in America, we just wouldn't be able to deliver that same standard.
Well, the thing with RuneFest as well is, as I've attended it as a player more times than I have as actual a staff member, is that there's a lot of staff there, and if you did it in the USA, then I guess you wouldn't get that staff presence because of not
absolutely.
being able to fly everyone out there.
Absolutely.
So I guess there's your answer, guys, on why not the USA. Next question is the price of a ticket.
It's going to be the same as last year, so £99.
Okay.
You're going to be able to buy it with bonds as well.
Guys, the other question was, will we be able to buy it again with bonds? Do we know the cost of bonds yet, or is that to be...
It's to be announced. Given that the ticket price is the same as last year, I'll expect it to be in the same ballpark, but we'll clarify that in future when we can start announcing the tickets. Must mention as well, there's a small booking fee as well as that £99 just to cover the cost of the transaction for buying the ticket.
And then, do we know when tickets will be going on sale?
Yeah, so it should be early July. We're working really hard to get everything set
So
up.
only a few weeks' time then?
Yeah,
it's not too long.
literally like a couple of weeks. We'll have it all the information will be out before that as well. So.
And then flights and hotels. Last year, how many? Like 10 players
Absolutely,
picked up
yeah.
flights and hotels with bonds as well. And then a lot of players picked up hotel rooms with bonds.
Yeah.
Is
So
that
that's
gonna be
going to
around
be
again?
exactly the same this year. Like we're going to be able to sort everything out for people. So we had someone come to RuneFest, pay for their flight, pay for the transfers from the airport to the hotel, their hotel room. They're spending money when they're at RuneFest and the ticket to RuneFest itself, all with bonds. So yeah, it's going to be totally possible again this year.
Cool. And then I guess some of the fun stuff is a theme. Like what theme we're going for, and we actually have a logo for this as well, don't we?
Yeah, see if you can guess in the chat. I guess like if you can bring out the logo.
Bear in mind it's 15 seconds delayed. We're going to turn to, while we put the logo up, we're going to turn to Mod Kelpie to fill the next 15 seconds with something.
Kelpie Cam.
Where's Kelpie Cam? The logo is the logo's on the screen, so they can't see you doing
Oh,
your dance.
good. Thanks for the best.
Okay, so I'm looking. A lot of people are saying inventor, raids. What else have we got in there in the chat?
Dinosaurs.
Dinosaur, dragon. It's always a dragon every year. We had the red dragon, the blue dragon last year. But I guess most people are coming in with a correct answer. Do you want to reveal the theme then?
It's definitely invention. It's going to be steampunk awesomeness.
And you can, and I guess you did just see the logo. You can take it away now. Yeah, so you've just seen the logo, so that's what the kind of cool little bits on the logo are.
Yeah, all those cogs and stuff, yeah.
As for invention, I will just kind of hijack this moment to say that we have a stream on invention with Mod Osborne and some of the design team behind invention in 2 weeks' time. I'm pretty sure it's we're going to be in roughly 2 weeks' time, so look out for that.
There's also been a podcast on invention which kind of went into a bit more detail than the initial announcement.
About elite skills as well,
Yeah,
that whole
absolutely.
kind of topic. And then the final thing is pre-party for RuneFest. Last year we had a pre-party. Are we going to be doing something similar?
Absolutely.
Again?
It's going to be bigger, it's going to be better, and we'll make sure that we can get everyone in this year. Like, I think last year we learnt a lot. It's a massive project to undertake. It's like, admittedly not as big as RuneFest itself, but we know that we can do something really cool there. So going to do something a bit different this year, but I'll wait to give some more details on that in the future.
And then what we're looking at for numbers for RuneFest is going to be similar to the...
Yeah, there's a similar kind of amount of people, probably like 1,000, I guess, was last year.
Just over 1,000.
Yeah, just over 1,000, so yeah, probably about the same this year.
Cool. And then I guess that's it for RuneFest. So pretty
Perfect.
awesome announcement there of everything to do with RuneFest. Do you want to go over just quickly from the stuff from the start in case people have joined of the when and the where?
Yeah, so it's the 3rd of October 2015, and you're going to come to London to Tobacco Dock in a slightly different space in Tobacco Dock, and that's your RuneFest basically on a plate. Just wait for some news about tickets, and we'll see you there.
Cool. All right, so we're now going to continue with the rest of the Q&A. We've got a load of dragon questions lined up for Mod Stu. Like he's eagerly awaiting them.
Oh, yeah.
In roughly 50 minutes' time as well, we're going to have a teaser of the beach as well, the summer beach party. So stick around for that as well. But right, so first off, with the dragons, from Liam WBA96. Would it be possible to move gravestones outside of the world gate when a player dies to rune dragons? Currently, it can be fairly dangerous to loot your grave.
Well, first of all, I think that's probably be more effectively solved by making the dragons unaggressive. That way, when you getting back to your grave, you're not going to get hit by multiple dragons. But that's something we'll probably poll later. But
we can poll it now if you like. If you want to do a straw
that'd be great.
poll.
Yeah.
So I guess first off, then just kick it straight off with a straw poll in the chat. The straw poll is going to be for should rune dragons hunt players. It's going to be so. What that means is should they be aggressive ultimately. If you want to answer that, the link will be in the chat. Feel free to click on it, give a result, and then we'll come back to the results page in a few minutes.
Grand. But I've also just implemented a fix today to make the gravestones appear outside of the world gate, consistent with how it works in RuneScape.
Okay.
That's a cold fix though, so it'll be the next update.
So next Monday will be when the players see that one. All right, cool. From Systematique. Why were Addy/Rune Dragons given unique bone drops when their counterparts, such as Mithril Dragons or the King Black Dragon, just receive regular dragon bones?
So Mod Timber wanted to ensure that it was a consistent moneymaker that had a certain baseline of wealth value per drop, in addition to the value of the adamant and rune bars. We did originally play around with dropping a certain quantity of regular dragon bones, so there was noted 2 dragon bones and 3 dragon bones, but that was a bit weird, and it didn't work that well. We didn't do Bone Crusher and things like that. So
I guess if they're noted, it wouldn't Bone Crusher.
yeah, exactly. And also thematically, it's just kind of interesting, with like with Wolverine, he has adamantium bones and so forth. It's got some lines of the metal running through the bones. So I thought, why not make adamant and rune dragon bones while we're at it?
So is the Myth Dragon Bones something you'd ever consider going back for, or you just want to leave them as they are currently balanced?
We'd probably leave them as they are, because the infusion of the metal is something that came in the higher level bones as they reinforce their armor and so forth. So I think it's satisfactory to have one generic dragon bone for the earlier ones. It was kind of like when 4K innovated differently from how Kerapak was doing the research for them. It seemed to be like kind of a different evolutionary line. So I think it makes sense for them to be separate.
Cool. And we have the results from the straw poll back, and it's pretty close actually. It's a yes. I can't see the exact percentage. I'm going to guess around 52% yes. So I guess
Cool.
what would we do in that? That's a very 50-50 kind of thing.
Yeah.
Would you make them aggressive, or would you want to keep them aggressive? If the gravestone's already outside, is there a reason to make them unaggressive?
Well, there's also the aggression there isn't entirely reliable. You can sometimes get attacked by, say, for example, 2 dragons simultaneously when you complete a kill. Because they'll both say, well, check, are you eligible? Have you been out of combat for a certain period of time? So, okay, we'll both get you.
And then one of them won't stop essentially from there.
Yeah. So I'd probably prefer for them to not be aggressive, because with also how the elite dragons spawn, sometimes you'll be wanting to choose, do I want to attack this regular one nearby, or do I want to attack this elite? And it just gives the option of choosing your targets. So I probably prefer non-aggression, but it's good to have the information.
Okay. From user 7071, would it be possible to change rune dragons so the player who deals the most damage gets the loot, as opposed to the first hit kill with the tagging system? It's annoying when people trigger AoE abilities and get the first hit with that mechanic.
Yep, that's certainly doable. In fact, I implemented that today as well. Yeah, so that should be coming in again in the next update.
I did see a funny clip on YouTube there of someone who received a drop. I can't remember what drop it was now. It was the wingtip, and he wasn't actually fighting a dragon at the time. He was just like in another part of the room, and he was like looking like, where is it? And it was a different dragon that he had tagged from earlier on that someone else had come along and killed, which is quite funny. Just to go back to the dragon bones themselves, Mod Doctor was currently implementing an interface for the Bone Crusher that I think he teased on Twitter last week. Your head ninja, you'll know about this.
Yeah, so we couldn't release it this week due to like working on different streams and such. So we're waiting for the new bones to come out, so that should be added. And I can't 100% guarantee it, but I would hope that we get it in for the next game update.
Okay, and then ultimately what was on that was, the option to tick exactly what bones you wanted to
Yeah,
crush.
works just like the Cedar side.
Yeah, essentially, and Rune and Adamant Dragon bones were both on there as well, so you could choose to have the Bone Crusher active but not crush like your Rune and Adamant, etc. So
Yeah.
that's looking like potentially a next week's update as well. Next one from Slayer. Why is the experience from Rune Dragons low compared to some other dragons? They've tripled the health of Celestial Dragons, yet give the same amount of experience for a kill. Is this going to be buffed at all?
Well, we did intend for the XP to be lower comparatively because it's a higher wealth gain than most monsters. But we're also going to be looking at tuning up those XP values as a product of some of the other changes that we're making.
And then as another one comes in about a similar kind of thing with the Slayer experience, because obviously a lot of people want to be on task, and the Slayer experience seems quite low compared to, there was someone who compared it to Glaciers.
Yeah, we'll be...
Saw that on Reddit.
Yeah, so the aim is to make the Slayer XP at least as good as Glaciers as the baseline.
Oh, so that'd be a hefty chunk, like roughly 2k XP, isn't it, per one? Just a hefty chunk. And then another thing was, the final thing was overcrowding with the Rune Dragons particularly. There's a few random questions on it, nothing kind of concrete about, was there any plans to do anything about the overcrowding? Or are we just we're putting it down to, it's the first day kind of hype?
Well, so certainly we're seeing a steady drop in players engaging with the content since release day. It's gone, I think, to a pretty normal amount of interaction at the moment. There's dragons available for people to kill. But we are looking into some solutions to that as well. We're going to add some additional dragons in Ketsi. Again, it'll be a cold fix. And yeah, that should hopefully resolve the primary. We considered things like instancing the area, but we're going to try and make it somewhere that you can go there and group with your friends and have that multiplayer element too.
Okay, and then the final thing I'll say is that's all the dragon questions I have for now. If you do have any other questions that you'd like to ask Modstu, who is the creator of the Rune Adamant Dragons, or the developer behind the Rune Adamant Dragons, if you have any other questions you'd like to ask him, then now's a good chance. Feel free to tweet them at RuneScape DevQA, or feel free to put them in the chat as well. And we will... Yeah, there's also a community stream at 8 p.m. GMT, 8 p.m. game time tonight, 9 p.m. BST, so it's 8 p.m. game time this evening, at which Modstu will be answering some Rune Dragon questions then as well. So if you've got any other questions, then you can tune in for that as well. Let's move on to some of the other questions and get the PiePad involved.
Yeah, someone was asking to see the PiePad. I was just getting it ready. There you go.
PiePad, all right. We'll start off with this one from Mike's Music Fan. In Dungeoneering, every time a player opens a new room in the floor, it automatically closes everyone else's interface they have open, such as crafting runes, a trader shop.
Yeah.
Can this be fixed because it's extremely infuriating?
Possibly. So here's a little bit of the tech behind it. When you open a new room, it has to completely redraw the maze for everyone.
Okay.
I could look at tweaking this so that it updates once you've finished for your player.
I thought that it took. Do you know how it takes like a little bit of time to load in before
Yeah.
you start? I thought that's because it was already like drawing it, or is it?
Yeah, it kind of. What we do is, because it's instancing tech, what we do is when you open a door, we kind of copy across a copy of the room and then set it up, and then we tell everyone to update their map around them.
Okay.
But I think it might only be for the actual DG map itself. You know, the little mini map. So I'll have a look and see if I can look at that one. No promises though, because my initial suspicions are sadly not, because we just need to grab you for that.
I was speaking to Mod DC and Mod Drew about it earlier on as well, and they certainly believe that we could make changes to the trader interface so it doesn't close.
I'll just keep
but
that
they weren't too sure about some of the other ones,
Yeah.
like the crafting ones and stuff. So yeah, we'll definitely take a look at it.
I mean, even if you do just the trader, it's kind of like a little bit of a compromise, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like it's going to make
improve it as
less.
much as we can, sort of thing. Yeah.
Cool. What's going on the pipad?
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely look into it.
All right. This next one from Jeffrey23. Will we ever see a revival to the conventional rune crafting methods like the ZMI? Their XP rates are uncompetitive and the monetary gain is minuscule for the extra time taking to train it.
Also, there is something that me and Mod Hunter are doing on Tap, because
So explain TAP again just quickly,
Tap.
just in case.
Tap is every other Thursday we get 1 day to work on what we want, basically, as long as it improves us in some way or manner.
And Wildy Worms come out.
Wildy Worm came out of it. Combat improvements came out of it. There's been quite a few things, isn't there? So the next thing that we're working on is actually something to do with Abyss rune crafting. So we're working straight off the bat. We're looking. These are in practice numbers, so they're not finite numbers. We need to do some extra balancing. But off the bat, we're looking at roughly double XP just for using the Abyss.
Oof, so that's doubling XP. That's quite hefty.
On top of that, we're looking at basically allowing either Mandrith or the Zami Mage to sell you an item that's worth a lot, like around 500k-ish. So if you carry and wear that item, it'll tag you, it'll have like a big skull above your head to let other players know that you've got it, but that will in turn triple the XP as opposed to double the XP.
So essentially people are going to try and come and kill you, and I imagine you get the 500k if you die.
Yeah, if you die, you lose it, and the PKer gets the money, basically.
So then you're going to have people saving the PKers back.
Yeah.
There's kind of...
It's very mixed,
unsung
actually.
heroes.
It's very mixed in
what
chat.
What the chat's saying.
I'd be tempted to straw poll that one.
Can do.
Like I said, the triple and double numbers are just me just throwing numbers out there. It does need to be balanced against, rune span rates, etc. But yeah.
So what do you want the poll to say exactly?
Do you want us to buff the XP while Abyss rune crafting?
Okay.
Yeah.
Simple yes, no?
Simple yes, no. Do you want yes with extra item? Yes, no.
Okay, go on then. So if you have to explain it again, just so they're fully aware for the poll.
So the three items are: do you want us to buff XP based on Abyss rune crafting? And then the extra one on top is an item that costs you money that can just be PK'd off of you, but it'll buff your XP even more.
So there's more risk but more reward potentially. Alright guys, that straw poll will be in the chat in just a second. Feel free to click on it, vote in it, and we'll bring up the results in a second. In the meantime, we'll go for our random ninja. Oh, actually, we haven't done the less serious icebreaker. What happened?
No, you just went straight in there.
You're just too excited about RuneFest.
super serial.
Too excited about RuneFest. We announced RuneFest, so in case you joined and you missed it.
And
we
my Portable
announced it.
Forges joke. So that was the highlight
That went
of
all
the
the
stream
way
so
out.
far.
Alright, this one's coming in from I'm Rubik, right? He comes in with the less serious icebreaker every week. Keep it up, Rubik. He's keeping us going. He's kind of scraping the barrel.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry, Rubik.
We were saying thanks last week, and it was like, come on, man. Like, someone else.
Where would your dream vacation in RuneScape be? Go on, Stu.
Ooh, well, Ashdale looks pretty nice. Weather's good, sometimes. The seafood's pretty nice, although sometimes there's rather horrific eldritch abominations rising up from the depths. But,
You're kind of not selling it that well.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah. Well, I'm probably not going to be on the tourist board at this rate, but it starts off quite well. It's sunny.
It's hard to sell any area really in RuneScape.
What, because you go to the beach towards the south and then you get mogres coming out of the water with flippers on, as you do.
Those are premium models, man.
Yeah.
Don't diss the mogres.
Anyone else?
I think I'm going to go to the Lumbridge Crater when it's upgraded. Oh my!
Oh, cheeky plug.
Wow, what a plug for the later in the stream. Keep an eye out for that, folks.
Anyone else?
I reckon Brimhaven, because that'll be quite fun.
With the
See all the
pirates?
pirates, yeah.
Fair enough. Pick up some Kwambuan. I think I got that right.
You just really wanted to say that word.
Yeah.
But anyway, we have the results from that straw poll, and so ultimately, do you want us to buff runecrafting through the Abyss with a couple of options? And there you go. Yes, with the PvP aspect on it, has come out with.
Well, it's going to have
What's
PvP
that?
aspect on it. It's
Of
the
course,
Abyss,
of
isn't
course,
it?
it's going to have PvP, but with the added PvP
with the added
aspect.
PvP aspect,
Ultimately, the no is the lowest with very few votes, near about 10%. So, yes, so I guess you got to continue on that with Tap.
Yeah,
Like,
crack on.
how long would it take to make something like that?
So we've pretty much already made it, but we just need to run the balancing past Timbo and do some like actual runs in game and just.
So what's your goal with it? Ultimately, you're going to be getting money. So can it ever be as good, even if you're risking your wealth with the item? Can it ever be as good as RuneSpan?
I think so. Yeah.
Would you
You're risking wealth. I'd like to to at least match RuneSpan because RuneSpan's AFK at the end of the day. But you are making wealth with money with making runes, right? Especially with the rune goldbag machine, right?
Yeah.
But if you've got that extra thing and you're actually risking like $500,000 for the sake of it, like I think you should push up towards RuneSpan rates, if not match them.
There we go.
It's my opinion though. But
Right. Anyway, I think the chat's been subscribe mode if you want to take that by the way. There you go. And we'll give you your freedom back. See, lots of freedom. Freedom. Anyway, what we're going to do now is we're going to head over for an awesome beach teaser to look at what the Lumberj creator might look at this month. So we're going to head over right now and get a demonstration of it in game.
Hey guys, welcome to the beach. I'm Modobath, and I'm just going to be showing you some of the things around here. And here we are the beach outfit and some of the outfit items you can get later. And let's get going. So. Right, here we are, the first bits of the beach. This is what you'll see when you're coming from the Lumberj lodestone. And we got Raina, who's the one running the actual whole event. She's the one you'll be talking to, having a bunch of the story behind it. On the left here, you'll see you've got the spotlight. The spotlight's something that's built into the beach that moves every 15 minutes. It basically gives you some extra XP when you're doing the spotlighted activity. To the left here, you've got the rock pools with Nicholas Angle running it all. This is where you can get your fishing experience. All the activities on the beach are available for every level of player from 1 to 99, and you will get scaling experience, which is pretty good to be honest. However, all the activities you do start filling up your temperature bar on the left hand side, and once you've hit the top you need to consume some ice creams to cool yourself back down again. You'll also notice we've got some nice little toy pirate ships here. They're for those people who have some of the battleships left over. If you deploy one of them, it will just find one of the battleships, and means you don't have to find other players. You can simply just fight against the pirate ships rather than having to find others. And here we go. Typical is not going to pick it up right now. There we go. They'll just have themselves a little fight, so you don't have to actually find other players to use these. And carrying on around, we've got some coconut palm trees. These are what you get for your farming experience. Just go up, grab them, grab the palm trees, and once you've got all your coconuts, you just simply drop them off at your pile of coconuts here by the coconut shy, which is where you go for your ranged experience. You've got 3 different types of range you can go for. So you can go for your ball for your average chance, you can go for your cabbage, lower hit chance but you get some more experience every time you do it, or you can throw the good old chin chompers, and yeah, there we go. Sarah's the one running these, looking happy as always. This is one of our first vendors, showing off some of the things that are available to the beach. Now, all of these items that these people have are available through actually playing the beach content, so you can purchase them with RuneCoins if you want to, or get them from just playing the beach. Right, coming around to the portals, this is probably going to be one of the most popular parts of the beach. Now, each of these portals is linked to one of the various different activities. So you've got your fish flingers, you've got your shooting star, evil tree, and when they're available in the game, the lifeguards here will just simply call out which one's available, jump in the portal, teleports you straight to it, gets you to the activity as quick as possible. No having to find the place, nice and easy. And to help with waiting for those things popping up, we've got bank chest, nice and close, ready for your skilling as well. Now, when you're doing all your stuff on the beach, you've got anti-sun potions. Now, this is a buff item that works on the beach, and that's dropped from killing the boss, which isn't here right now, but And when you do it, it gives you an XP buff for all activities you do on the beach, regardless of these activities. So if you bring all your things to them, you'll get buffs for that as well. Come around here, you've got the various different sandcastles. You've got your Lumbridge Sandcastle, Wizard Sand Tower, and a different NPC will keep spawning and turning up each time. So we've got Duke Horatio right now. So these guys keep switching around. When the NPC switches over, that means you've got to build a different castle each time. So if you get the right one, you get the highest XP rates. If you don't, you start building the other one, you get slightly less. And come around to the end, we've got an inactive portal here. This will be coming in a later batch of activities. We've got most of the content releasing right at the start. However, a few things we've kind of held back to just give you a little bit of change, a little bit of difference. This is one that will activate later. There's a few other things, but we're going to keep that secret for now. This is one of our other vendors. This is our hat vendor, Sheldon. He's a character, he is. And finally, come around to the grills. Yep, we got lots of grills on the beach here, and this is where you get all your cooking XP. Gotta love their grills, right, guys? Finally, we've got the boss. The boss will be in the middle here, but he's going to be turning up every hour, and we're going to keep this one. There's a few surprises with him, so that's one of the things you'll have to wait and see. Right, I'm going to be sending this back to the couch. To answer some of the questions you guys may have. Over to you guys.
Hey guys, welcome back. So joining us, we have. Want to introduce yourselves? Yeah, some grills.
Mod Krista.
I'm Mod Mohawk.
And so, Mod Krista, do you want to quickly explain that? Obviously, we've seen you on the old school stream now, and you're back here.
Yeah, I was obviously part of the team that helped develop the beach. I was working on it for about a month before I left, so they've kindly let me join in on the Q&A.
All right, so we have a couple of questions. Feel free to ask your questions in the chat as well, other than just spam grill, I guess. And we'll get any questions you have on the beach. You're gonna be here for the next 5 or 10 minutes or so to answer them. So get them in now if you can. So first one from iTerra: Is it a permanent event? If not, how long will it last?
It's going to be there for a couple of months. It's not permanent, no.
Unfortunately.
So the next question was from Ferenic 2017. He said, please run an in-game poll afterwards to keep the beach. Well, you're the poll man.
Well, I mean, these guys can probably give a better answer, but I did ask the guys about whether we're keeping it afterwards and stuff, and it's not something we want to do. There is potential bring it back, I guess. I mean, I guess that's all stuff you guys have discussed.
Absolutely.
There's just so much more we can do with it other than just a beach. So
I guess one of the Rune Labs polls that almost won was to turn it into fill it in with water, etc. as well. So
yeah, I'm not too sure a permanent beach there really fits in with the theme of that area and stuff.
I mean, it works nice for the summer, I guess.
Yeah, it works nice as a temporary event type thing.
And then because just a lot of support on the forums behind having something else there other than the creator itself. So I guess maybe something to look at in the future. Ultimately asked, who is Team Omega? And will we be seeing more from this team? So we mentioned you're from Team Omega in the dev blog.
She's not.
Did to us.
No, it's a small team within the MTX team. So we've got 2 little teams, and we kind of piggy hop months. So one of us will dev 1 month, the other team will dev the other month, and so it's me. It was Mod Krista. It's our Modo beef thing over there, and
Mod Days.
Mod Days. That's his name.
And Mod Dolan.
And Mod Dolan.
So you guys ultimately Team Omega was the team that have developed the beach and were behind the beach.
Yep.
Well,
Cool.
them more than me. I swapped teams
You swanned it when I left.
Yeah, exactly. I'm taking all credit for Krista's work.
From Sir EOS Lee, is it all content for members, or is there going to be some free-to-play content as well?
Most of it's free to play.
Almost all of it's free to play, yeah.
Okay,
The
so
only areas which aren't are the portals, because they're
what about the boss?
Boss is for everybody.
Oh,
And construction XP. So the sandcastles are members only as well.
And someone from, I'm going to try and pronounce this, Sakuliaze01?
No, I'm not going to try.
Sakuliaze01? Will ice creams, cocktails, etc. be tradable?
The ice creams are, the cocktails aren't.
Okay, and then Iron Men, the other question from the chat is, will Iron Men be able to take part in it?
To a certain extent. I believe they get reduced XP from it, but they can still take part.
Okay, and then big dankers.
Nice.
Big dankers. Is there any more information to be had on the tortoise?
The tortoise actually isn't from the beach. That's from an event that builds up to the beach. So Modo Baith mentioned Raina, who's running the beach. She's actually going to need your help to create the beach and get it all up and running. So there's about 4 or 5 days build up to the beach. So during that you can get 3 free chances a day to get the tortoise, 2 free chances for every daily challenge you do, and you can also get chances on Treasure Hunter.
Okay.
And they're also tradable. So you can buy them. You can buy them off G if you aren't lucky enough to get one.
They're like consumable. So you'll get an item and then you can use it and unlock in your pet interface.
Okay, like a scroll kind of thing.
Yeah, but you can trade them as well.
I'm Rubik asks, will we see more beach parties in years to come?
Maybe.
Probably.
Probably.
Chris has anything to say about it?
Well, I don't have any say anymore, do I? But we've really enjoyed working on it. So absolutely, we the team absolutely love the beach. So we'd love to see it. Well, as a player now, I would love to see it come back.
And then from Twitter we have one from Knuffle Drac who asks, I recall there was a name contest for the beach boss. When will the results be revealed and where?
Already been revealed?
Yeah, they're on the forum.
Monday's news post, they were revealed.
On Monday's newspaper. And what was the winning name? I should have read it.
Claudia.
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 It was between that or Santa Claus.
Can't be
We've already
Santa
used
Claus.
that. We already used that for
Some little-
a Christmas event, the
Yeah.
Dungeoneering Christmas event. So
And
that's
then,
a good job.
and then the final one is when will the from Mr. AWP8 from the chat, when will the beach event be released? Can we say that? Are we saying that? Or are we keeping that under wraps?
Up to then.
Well, you'll be able to see the build-up event on the coming soon on Treasure Hunter. So once that happens, you'll know. Sorry, I made that. Sorry.
Looking around content again.
But once you see that there, you'll know that it'll be 4 or 5 days after that.
Okay, and then
And
I
that's
guess
soon.
because that's all the questions we have for now. Where will any players be able to contact you if they have any further questions? I guess
We're on Twitter.
We're absolutely on Twitter.
Yeah.
There's
Right,
also
yeah.
the forums.
there's a devlog on the forums they can answer,
Yep.
and future game updates at the minute. I think it's under. And,
Yep.
and Twitter handles, I guess. Just
Jaggets Krista and Jaggets Mohawk.
Yeah.
okay, and then I guess that's everything for the beach. So we're gonna say goodbye to Mod Mohawk and Mod Krista. Goodbye, Grills. And then we're going to continue with some of our questions.
Yeah.
Do you want to scooch back round?
Scooch back round.
Otherwise, we'll look out of. You're not
Do
going
I have to move?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not symmetrical now.
Oh,
I want to be at least
Make me
somewhat
cry.
symmetrical. Okay. There we go. That's looking all right.
yeah.
Right. So, guess to continue with some of our questions is the beta and polls. Beta polls.
Beta. So we've done another beta update, and there are some polls in that I think everyone will be like to jump on. The things being polled at the moment.
So these are in-game polls, but
Yeah.
on the beta server.
on the beta, yeah.
So
I believe, are we gonna like put
Yeah,
a
so
link
in
to
the-
the beta in chat?
Yeah.
If
Like-
you'd like to vote in these polls,
cool.
we're going to put a link to the beta in the chat. So if you'd like to go vote in these polls, then your feedback will be much valued. They are.
So the first one and the one that we're all most excited about is the two-handed melee two-handed ability buffs. They are
including
being
Scythe
told to go into live now.
as well.
Yeah. So yeah, in this update we did allow the scythe to work at range 2, like the halberds now. So with your Nox scythe, you've got that disgusting 5x5 AOE, which is another thing that's being polled. So that's the second poll is: do you want the halberds and the scythes to do their 5x5 AOEs now, or do you want us to wait off? And the last one is some changes to barge. So we've allowed barge to bind for 1.2 seconds because what was happening, people were barging, but the guy's still running away, right? So we've added a little quick bind to there, and we've also removed the cooldown link.
Oh, that's interesting. So if you
Yeah.
jump towards them, it will just keep them still.
It will keep them still for 1.2 seconds or 2 cycles. And we've also removed the cooldown, the shared cooldown with Escape and Surge. So you can like surge
so you can
barge,
surge.
or you can
Oh,
go
okay, that's quite
disgusting distances.
The other thing, what was interesting, just as a personal note, is how you can use Surge with nothing equipped. Like I can Surge at any time, right? But
Yeah.
with Barge, I have to have.
You have to have a melee
main
weapon.
hand
So there's
melee
more of a
weapon.
reason for that now as well.
Because of the stun.
Because of the bind. Yeah,
Okay.
it's not a stun. Binds and stuns are different.
Okay, sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
You have to
no.
teach me. We're gonna duel it out in our PV duel anywhere.
And duel anyway. Yeah.
We'll show that one day, and I'll beat you. Don't worry.
Yeah, mate.
I know what you're laughing at. We're both gonna beat you.
No one's gonna beat Mod Stu.
No.
He's got max cape.
He'll be chilling in the max girl.
Yeah.
We still outside.
Can't even get in there.
We've got our first batch of stuff from the beta, or your
Yeah,
stuff
there's
from
a
the
ton
beta
of stuff
rather,
going live.
next week maybe.
So some from the previous votes, the legacy soul split cap has been completely removed.
Oh, it's quite an interesting one.
That one went through, and there's going to be some changes to stuns in PvP that the PK community voted on. There was one thing we needed to tweak, but the one thing we needed to tweak, the feedback was overwhelmingly just get rid of it. So we just got rid of it and we're
Okay.
putting it live.
So there's kind of evidence that the beta updates do go live.
Do go live,
Yeah.
yeah. Eventually, for things to go from the beta to live, like we've kind of got like an old school level of mentality, as in there needs to be a decent chunk of
Yes
yes
voting.
votes. It can't just be 50% and go in. Like people have, for there to actually be a change, we need a decent chunk.
And we do scrap stuff. If it's just getting
Yeah.
one of those, we don't just keep on reworking it over and over again until it's ready.
Yeah.
While we're on this kind of topic of kind of some of the better changes, the stun changes, that kind of thing, and removing soul split caps, Lolgacy.
Lolgacy. That's
Yeah.
Monado. But yeah.
Yeah. Any plans to address this damage soft cap for damage over 5k on certain bosses like the Queenback Dragon, Nex, Calflight King for legacy users, as using two-handed weapons is currently much worse than dual wield because of that cap?
So I had a look at the code, and I've got some bad news for him. Basically, it's not just legacy users. ESE are under the same cap. I can see how it would be accentuated with two-handed legacy, because obviously you'd more likely to hit that cap more often with the spikier damage.
Yeah.
But I'm afraid those caps aren't going anywhere, and it's not legacy specific. However, whilst I was doing my digging, I did find a line of code that probably shouldn't be there. Especially, there was a comment above it saying, "Please remove this once we finish tweaking legacy damage." So currently, on Araxor, legacy users are doing 25% less damage. So that line's disappearing as quickly as I can remove it. So yeah, that's a good one.
Is that going hotfix, or is that going to be next update that will disappear?
I'll try and get it in for next update for you.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
so next update you can try Araxor with legacy.
It's a little bit annoying. I'm surprised it's been in there for so long, but it's going.
A lot of people in the chat are just like lol, whoops. Have you ever found anything in the code where you're like, oh, that's there? Like, remove that quickly. Anyway, were you the developer, Stu?
Yeah, frequently.
Whoa! God.
Comes to Jagex has got the best developers in the world.
Every day is a
Say
surprise.
frequently.
Occasionally.
I found out about all sorts of very interesting things about the combat system during the course of doing these dragons. It was quite enlightening.
Fair enough. And anyone in particular that stands out?
Well, just today, it's probably going to get rather technically complex. Maybe I shouldn't say this. But I'm revising the rune dragons so that they're using the tagging mechanism that bosses use, so that they don't regenerate life points when they leave combat, which is the issue that led to them retaining their enrage mechanic and bury and so forth. And it seems that the XP gets calculated quite differently for boss monsters versus regular monsters. So it had quite a big leap up in the amount of XP that they got in that state. So I'm going to have to look at tuning that accordingly.
Fair enough.
But yeah, you find all sorts of little surprises in there, exceptions built on top of exceptions, and all sorts of useful features. I mean, there were several things that I wanted to fix today, and ModPy let me know about them, and literally it's just one parameter I got to change, and just enables this thing that I thought I would have to write from scratch. So a lot of things we thought of ahead of time for me too, which is great.
And that kind of whole mechanic of maintaining the enrage if someone leaves the area, is that something that you're removing, so stop doing that?
Yeah, so the hotfix that we sent through this morning was to prevent the enragement from happening when it had regenerated its life points, so that they only apply during the phase it's supposed to, but that's the critical thing. And then this change will then make it so that it can't go back to maximum life points when we do this cold fix. So it's supposed to function as intended.
All right, I'm gonna. What are you all giggling?
For some reason they're putting the camera on me. I don't even have any questions to answer today.
Kelpie, you just looked directly down that lens.
I know.
I think we're doing Kelpie Cam, which is really funny.
You want to
They're enjoying it. There we go, Steve.
Well, give us a look, Kelpie, give us a look. Oh, yeah.
I can't see what I'm, like how it looks on our screen, so it's a bit.
All right, so questions coming from the chat. First one, this one's coming from Twitter, sorry. It says, from Runic Lord, will we see multiple batches of raids beyond the first one? It's interesting considering they haven't even had the first one yet. When's the second batch of raids? More raids!
Well, we've not even had the beach party out yet, and they're already asking us how many times we have it in the future. Planning ahead.
It's, I mean, I think in maybe even next week we'll be having the guys from raids. I think we planned for like even 2 or 3 streams to bring the guys from raids.
2 streams hopefully is what we're looking
2
at.
streams before raids at least.
Just to talk about,
it
won't be spoiling anything to do with the bosses, but it'll be to
so
look
I don't want to really kind of like
everything.
answer all their questions for them and stuff. But there will be a degree of how well players like the update. Will we do more type stuff?
Yeah, one thing I will say about raids though is if you do raids, don't let Mod Ramen go with you, because we were playtesting and Mod Ramen killed me 3 times whilst doing the boss. That's what I'm going to say.
The last time I saw someone having a go at it was Mod Simon, and he was awful. We got another question from Wan Strange Guy asking, are there any plans for summoning? Anything for summoning, I guess. Something hasn't been. That kid did come out in 2 batches, isn't it? Batch 1, Batch 2, back in 2008.
I mean, the last kind of summoning update I guess we did was around about, I want to say like October last year when Mod Chris
improvements.
He improved like the AI of them. There isn't anything currently planned with summoning. There are no kind of summoning updates planned. Like I don't know if you're asking for like major ones or smaller ones or stuff, or you just new familiars, but really like
the thing with familiars is like
nothing.
every level's pretty much had something in from the beginning, didn't it? It came out in 2 batches, but pretty much every level got filled. So
yeah, I mean, it's always like familiars and stuff are always stuff that we consider as like rewards and stuff, but right now like general summoning improvements or changes to how it works or anything, nothing like that's planned.
Okay, right. Next comment from Captain Lime. He asks, how do developers come up with the new mechanics for bosses, mobs, quests, etc.?
Well,
I guess Rune Dragons is a good one. I guess that came from. Sorry,
I was just going to go for the boss thing, but it's
were
fine,
like, well, and then I was like,
God Stew is better anyway, so go for it.
Not true. But in the case of the dragons specifically, I got given lots of suggestions, so I implemented them. So it wasn't really me thinking of very much. Mod Kelpie, I think, suggested, hey, why do we have some flying dragons? So I worked that in
Which I got
there.
from the players.
Yeah. Mod Dean said he wanted elite dragons, so I put those in there. Someone else said that they wanted an upgrade to glacial boots, so I put that in there. So there wasn't very much creativity on my part this time around. So hopefully you got a better answer.
So when we make bosses, what we'll usually do is we kind of start with the standard kind of boss attacks that you'd expect, so like area denial, kind of like, okay, how about cleave? And we just start playing around with things, but what we do is we try and think about it to make it synergize with the boss. So, like web shield mechanic for a Raxor, like a nice cleave. We've got little spider ads and spiderlings, and the same with Viraga, you've got like big rocks and things, and he's using the elements
all
around
his bombs.
you. And his bombs, yeah,
on
exactly.
the floor, so falling through to next phase and stuff.
Yeah.
I guess just
Extreme house makeover, yeah.
I guess just it comes from the environment and the theme of the boss.
We just kind of play around with things, think about cool mechanics we could stick in and how they kind of synergize with what the boss stands for. And then we start thinking about how different attacks can synergize with each other. So like, say you've got one that's area denial, and then you've got one that drags the player around, for instance. So those 2 things like make your life a bit more difficult. Those kind of things.
I guess this would have been put to the test when dungeoneering was being developed. There's a lot of bosses and mechanics that had to come up with that. You can see perhaps they ran out with some when they have the boss reach light some pillars in the roof. That was someone
they
just
made
there
a
going,
ton.
we've run out of ideas, hey guys.
They did
Make it like the pillars.
They did a really good job with dungeoneering, because I remember when dungeoneering came out, and I think it's the Ice Fiend. Like the first time that thing did
That thing's
the
horrible.
icicles dropping, it was like, what is going on? Because everything was like tank and spank back in the day. So like, what we actually have to think in RuneScape now? What is this?
I like the Warp Galuga. It's like a Jad with different animations. It's cool. Next question is coming from 4chan on RS. Could we see some wilderness content coming in the future? There was a recent Reddit post by D's Nuts RS, and we have the image, which we're going to put on the screen.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Mod Sergeant's
We're
thinking
going to put it
about
on the screen.
He's thinking about it. I look over and he was sat there on his
Just
phone.
relaxing, checking Facebook.
That will come in just a second, but ultimately, while they're getting that image, wilderness updates, wilderness suggestions.
So
there you go. It's on the screen now.
Hey.
If you could, can you pass it over to us so we can just see it quickly as well? And ultimately, this was on Reddit. If you search by top for the last week, then you'll find it. It's quite small. I just wanted to get the whole thing on the screen, really. But ultimately, lots of upgrades to areas of the wilderness, lots of new content. Some of it, like the Ents and the Cave Murrays, kind of taken from like the old school aspect.
Yeah.
Like mirroring across those kind of things. But
So, like with the Abyss, there are lots of cool things that we want to stick into the wilderness, but we're not going to do like a big wilderness update. Like it's kind of coming in, kind of like how we do any other updates. So we've got some PVM content, we've got some content for these guys, and wilderness content is kind of done in the same kind of manner. It's like when we feel it's time for something to go in the wilderness, then because different updates cater to different players, and we can't just cater always to the worldie to do like to just plug that much content into the wilderness. Yeah. But like I said with the Abyss, it's not like we won't do anything with the wilderness. It's just
with the I guess asking it as a player would have kind of a counter question of the idea of adding the Abyss Runecraft and adding that whole stone of if you die, it's an incentive for a PKer to come and kill you.
Yeah.
Do you not feel that adding kind of more stuff in one go would add more of a bang, get more players into the wilderness in one go, rather than kind of a few things here and there, like Wildy Worm at once, and then a few months later maybe the Abyss update?
Maybe, but also at the same time, the content kind of goes out of fashion quicker as well. So if you do lots of little updates, one thing is it all gets swarmed, so you kind of get a concentrated number of players, and the wilderness feels a bit more active when you release that.
I guess
thing.
it'll just die out faster rather than just.
Whereas if we do lots of continuous updates, you kind of get these little peaks, so you don't kind of throw all your eggs into one basket all in one go.
Fair enough. Oh, cool. Next question coming in from Twitter. This one from God Sent. And he asks, how are these relics we're receiving incorporated in the new raids? Oh, the new... what's it called? The meteor that lands that you throw through.
Find out.
I don't think it's that one. I think it's the red ones they're probably talking about, where you get the little statue things from.
Oh, I have one of them, yeah.
No?
Oh, those. Oh, you mean the ones you get every day, not the new ones? There's a new one, isn't it?
There's the
old
red
one where
ones.
you get like your 2 times XP. The new one, you only get one lot of XP. I was like, oh.
So there's currently 2 versions. There's the red versions, and they. Sorry, I've just realised the camera's on me again. There's the red ones. The person who it drops for can get like a little relic from it. You can either choose to save them up, and you can take them to where raids are going to be.
I'm worried now because I've been using these, and now I'm worried that like I haven't been saving them.
So
no, take the XP.
It's the sort of thing. It's like you can either convert them to XP now, or you can save them up, and then when it is the time that you can actually use them, you can either choose to use them, or you can still choose to convert them to XP. So it's up to you really. And then there's the new ones that came out in the new update, where if you take them to Tusker's Back and run all the way to the end where there's now a portal, you can throw them through there.
Tusker's 4K TV.
Yeah. The platinum screen, yeah, and you can, I believe you deal damage to Tusker, and you also get experience for that way. So that's them.
The next question just says, Iron Man and raids, i.e. group bossing.
So I'm going to assume, I haven't really properly spoken to the raids guys about this, but I assume it's all going to be, it's still one group bossing project that we've talked about previously that's currently with Ninja. We want to, it's essentially like finishing off Iron Man, in that allowing Iron Man to be able to get like comp cape. And there isn't much left to do. there is the group bossing stuff, which we polled previously, and then there's like unlocking some more music tracks and stuff. So we want to do that as a final sort of project and stuff. That's currently, as I said, with Ninja or with Mod East, whoever kind of gets to it first.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we are both very busy. We need to finish some other projects within the Ninja team before we move on to that, but it is near the top of our list of stuff to do. So we haven't started it yet, unfortunately. So I imagine at the same time we do that, we will also do raids. But yeah, so I think that's probably what's going to happen, but I'll need to double check with the raids crew.
Cool. The next question I have is, with the popularity of 120 Master Capes or Master Skill Capes, this is from Midnight Down, by the way, will we ever have a trimmed Max Cape for 120 in all skills? And we had the trimmed Comp Cape came out when there was only one player that had it, wasn't it? So it's kind of feasible.
It's effectively 120 max cape is what you're asking for, rather than trimmed.
Yeah, a 120 Max Cape, yeah.
I suppose we could look into it.
Or the easy thing to do is just
Potentially, yeah.
you can't change the particle colour on a Max Cape because there is no particle drill on a Max Cape. So
Trim max.
how do you trim a Max Cape?
Yeah.
Lock
I'm
it
not too
as
sure.
pink.
I don't know.
We've had a lot of requests for like various capes for
Like max,
various
a 200 mil
levels
cape,
and XP and stuff.
a
And
1 bill, 2 bill, 3 bill cape. We got that one, didn't we?
yeah, I want to be careful with it, to be honest, because then I feel like you kind of devaluate capes by adding like tons more, if you get what I mean. And then just everyone has like some form of cape, whatever, and then it's like, well, where's the value in it, sort of thing, you know?
You've also got the question, like, do you make 120 max cape look better or worse than comp? Because you don't have to get 120 all skills to get trim comp.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. What do you think?
I'm abstaining.
No.
I just get my combat skills up and that's it. I'm not getting 99 agility.
The God Guthix asks, any chance we could learn the drop rates of Dragon Full Helms from Adamant Rune and Rune Elite Dragons?
Yeah, that's actually quite an easy one. The Adamant Dragons drop at the same rate that the Mythical Dragons do.
Oh, so that's super. Has anyone ever confirmed this? I feel like no one's ever confirmed oh, sorry, did you say Rune or Myth?
The Adamant drops at the same rate as the Mythical.
Oh, yeah, so has anyone ever confirmed the Myth drop rate?
Don't
Because
know.
from the Tube Bones, I believe Old School have confirmed it as 1 in 256, I believe. But
So I'm not going to confirm it, I'm just going to piggyback off that information that you already have. So
Okay.
tough one. And the Rune Dragons don't drop the full helms at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, can you give us an indication of like how rare it is off?
Nah, I'd rather see you squirm.
Okay. I just don't know if we've ever said. Yeah, the 1 in 256 I think is off just the Tube Bones, but the actual drop rate from the Dragon, I have this feeling it's like a Dust Devil D-Chain kind of rate, something crazy like that. Next question, Cameron467 asks, can we expect more grind-breaking updates to skills like the Aquarium, for example, for fishing with clue scrolls and etc. added to it?
Maybe, yeah.
Potentially.
Nothing's really confirmed, but
That was started off
Aquarium's gone down really well.
off as a player in-house room, didn't it?
Yeah,
Kind
it
of-
was meant to be more of a construction update, and it kind of converted more into fishing, I guess, which isn't a bad thing because I think it works really well. Yeah,
Nice.
it was a really good like social experience and stuff. I felt, which was really cool.
So,
I think everyone I've seen people saying the other day, it was update of the year and stuff, and hard to disagree.
Yeah, very good example of prestige content for people who've already maxed the skill and they have a reason to come back to it.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, it is stuff we could see. I'm struggling to think of something that we have planned right now that is like that. But yeah, I'm sure we will. But yeah, I don't have any examples of it in the work that I can think of right now.
All right, cool. Next one coming from the chat from Sackirth asking, are there any plans to make tier 90 gloves in line with the way tier 90 boots work for the sake of consistency? This also keeps tier 85 relevant. So obviously I guess it's, I don't know,
So
where.
you mean kind of like an attachment.
So it's ultimately it's an attachment, isn't it?
And degrading down to the base.
This is a random question. What was the reasoning behind the degrade of the new item as opposed to degrade of the boot? Because when you've done new items, you've made for example, your Wildy Worm, you've made the whip degrade rather than the new item degrade on the whip.
Yeah, I
Any
did
reason
originally
for that?
have it the same way as the Wildy Worm does. Mod Timber's feedback was that the glacial boots were sufficiently rare at the moment that they didn't need to be removing them from the economy, while we wanted to keep the Rune Dragon add-ons something that people have an incentive to come back and kill the dragons for. So it's basically a matter of choosing which one we want to
Yeah,
be
just-
rare, which one we want to remove from the economy.
Ultimately, the gloves. What gloves would you attach it to?
Well, I'm guessing they mean
So
things like
the
Ascension hand
Razorbacks-
grips, Razorback.
Aren't they already power? I thought
Yeah,
they were already
see,
power.
I just feeling they were already
Razorback,
power 90.
Celestials, and Ascension grips. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're already power. So would you add something to make them tank?
I guess that they want it more to move away from degrading to dust items to
Yeah,
items
and-
that degrade back to an item of some sort, even if it was lower tier.
I'm totally down with that.
Degrade to dust. You don't like degrade to dust. Do you prefer the way the Celtic or Barrows would work?
Yeah, I think people like having an actual item. Like I like the way I think is it Serenic that you can use Serenic on it? I can't remember. But like being able to just put more items into it so you can
Like Ganodermic flake, for
yeah, that
example,
kind of
and
thing.
Admiral
Like I think that
flakes.
goes down a lot nicer than degrade to dust.
Or
I think it's
chitin. I don't think anyone uses the chitin, do they?
Yeah.
Does anyone use the chitin for the?
Yeah, using the upgrade components to repair is something we're moving more towards lately. It's something we did for these boots and also for pop armor recently.
yeah.
We're almost there, so I'm going to pick one more question. I'll go with Darth Melkor, and he asks Kelpie. This is asking for
Say
a Kelpie.
Popeye or Kelpie.
Oh, what's
It's
that?
not just me.
At ModPie or Kelpie. I skipped a line. At ModPie or Mod Kelpie. Unlucky Stu. He said, "Can we get some information on a Clan Wars update?"
We don't have anything planned right now. I did have a look at Clan Wars, I think it was about a year ago. So, we're really digging the grave here, where I kind of rewrote the ranking system because the ranking system at the moment is really stagnated. It's kind of ELO, but changed a little bit for a RuneScape. And at the moment, I believe there's like 3 clans at the top that just really aren't going to move. If we get more clans in Clan Wars, then we're probably more likely to actually do an update to get it more invested. But currently, I don't think there's enough many clans actually warring in Clan Wars
Fair enough.
to warrant it.
And I guess that's it for this week. So just to wrap up, the big announcement that we had earlier was RuneFest. So RuneFest 2015. It's going to be back in London. It's going to be on the 3rd of October.
Yep.
Yeah, 3rd of October. Tickets, Tobacco Dock. It's going to be a different part of the venue. The theme is Invention, and the logo's been released. It looks really cool. Anything else to mention for it? The ticket price was going to be £99, but you could buy it with bonds, the same as similar to previous years. And the ticket information should go up in 2 or 3 weeks' time, aiming for early July. Other than that, we have the community stream later on this evening at 8 PM game time, which will be on Rune and Adamant Dragon, so you can ask lots of questions there about that as well. Anything else you guys want to add?
Remember to go into the beta and vote on the polls.
Yes,
So there's some
please
new
do that.
polls in the beta.
I saw one guy in the chat mention the Defender update. We haven't.
Ooh, we talked about that a while ago,
yeah,
didn't we?
it's not scrapped. It's in the Ninja backlog. It's just still in the backlog. If you
Which
catch
is,
it.
yeah, we have a backlog of lots of cool projects that we all want to work on. It's just
Defender
we've
update
just
is
got
one
to
of them.
get them done, you know.
Oh, there we go. So that's it this week, guys. You can, if you missed any of the other parts of the stream, then you can watch it back later today on YouTube. And other than that, please follow the RuneScape Twitch channel for future live streams. Thanks very much, guys. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.